Perfect. Hey, so joining me now is Joe Castiglione, the voice of the Boston Red Sox. Joe, how are you holding up without baseball?
Well, it's boring without baseball. We certainly miss it, and we don't know when it's going to restart. Hopefully this season, we'll see. But yeah, it's we spent the month of April in Florida, came back to the Boston area Thursday, and we're just waiting to see what happens.
Now, what about your students? How are they coping with this new normal, and how are you as a professor dealing with this online education?
Well, actually, I stopped teaching after 2013. It was getting in my way of my trips to Florida. So, and anyway, it's got to be difficult because I see my grandchildren online doing their schoolwork. They're in junior high and grade school, and it's got to be a challenge. As far as my course goes, it wouldn't be bad because it's a performance course, so it would have worked out easily. I did many classes on Skype, as it were, so that wouldn't have been a problem.
Now, Joe, when you talk or think about this COVID-19 quarantine and all the disruption it's caused, how do you think it's going to help young students as they get older?
Well, I'll certainly make them more computer literate. I think. I think it'll help them in some ways relate. I noticed my grandchildren are really enjoying themselves and even their siblings a lot more than they probably did, missing their friends, but they're making the most of it, and it's really surprising to see how well they have coped. Maybe better than us in some ways, although Jan and I have had a great time together, and you have to certainly change your lifestyle with no restaurants and no entertainment other than what you create on your own or what you get online or television.
Now, Joe, when you think back to your childhood, what were some of the defining moments that led you into sports broadcasting?
Well, probably when I realized I wasn't good enough to be a major league player, which was pretty soon, pretty early, about age 10. And listening to Mel Allen of the Yankees, I thought that was a great way to do it. I don't know why it just hit me. I think it was a calling I had, a true vocation. And, I was able to go from there. And I think I've been very blessed to always know what I wanted to do. When I went to my 50th college reunion, I thought the greatest compliment I got was from classmates who said, "You're the one who did exactly what they said they were going to do and wanted
Hmm.
to do." And, that's really a blessing.
Now, it seems as though you've worked with some great partners and been part of an amazing team. But what about those times where you did not really enjoy the teammates? How much did you have to mature in that process? And what would you tell young aspiring broadcasters now?
Well, I've always gotten along well with my booth mates, so that's never been an issue. I think that the best thing you can do is listen. Listen to your broadcast partners. Uh, and before the game, just listen to everything you can from the manager, from the players. I mean, you have to ask the right questions, but listening is the key. And you learn much more by listening. And I think that's why I would recommend to other young broadcasters listen and then absorb and react.
N- Now, Joe, I certainly love Lou Merlone, and I think he's wonderful. What can you say about some of the hometown guys that have not only played for the Red Sox, but are now part of the Red Sox media?
Well, they do a great job in working at it. Lou is a very hardworking guy, not only with baseball, but with other sports too, as he has to be versatile with his talk show. And I know how much he prepares. I think that's really the key in terms of his success as a broadcaster, both as a talk show host and as a color commentator on Red Sox or radio baseball. And the guys in the studio I don't see that much of, Nesson, because we're on the air, of course. But most of them I see before the game, and they work hard. And I think that that's the key is the preparation. Uh, Ex-players, are separated pretty quickly. The name only takes you so far. After that, you've got to do the job and perform, and
Hmm.
that takes a lot of preparation and reporting skills, which is something that is acquired. Really, you have to learn how to be a reporter, and I think that's the key.
Now, Joe, being the voice of the Boston Red Sox, being in the Hall of Fame, how do you continue to stay so sharp?
Well, I think I've been blessed with good recall. That's a big part of it, and good health. I think that's the key. I try to stay physically fit, and you learn to change your lifestyle a little bit. Maybe go in earlier after the end of night games and get up and go to the gym instead of staying out half the night and partying. I think you learn those kind of things, and overall, just trying to lead a healthy lifestyle.
And Joe, you were terrific. Just with me and my dad, we actually got to go to his first Boston Red Sox game a couple years ago. You actually autographed your book, "Can You Believe It?" for me. Could you just talk about the process of writing that book and where did that expression first come from?
Well, I don't really know. It just happened. I think I probably said it over the years. I first recall saying it that fateful Saturday afternoon with the Yankees, the game, and
Yeah.
July 24th of '04 that the Yankees heard was rained out. They were getting dressed to leave. Red Sox players lobbied ownership to play the game, and Bill Miller hit a walk-off home run off Mariano Rivera, which was a premonition of what would happen. Miller drove in the tying run with after the Dave Roberts steal. And I remember after that home run saying, "Can you believe it?" And then it just sort of became standard, but I try to reserve it for big, big moments.
Oh, certainly. I'll get you out on this question. With all the talk, sports talk, how many games do you think baseball will be able to get in this year? How many games would you like them to get in this year?
Well, I think they'd like to get in 100 at this point. Whether they can or not remains to be seen. To have a regular, meaningful season, you probably have to have 60 to 75. I think a shorter season might help the Red Sox because of their lack of pitching depth, at least on paper right now.
Sure.
So we'll see, but it's you hear varying reports. Some optimistic, and then some of the ones today not that optimistic. We'll see.
Hey, Joe, thank you so much. And we wish you all the best. And we can't wait to hear you calling games of the Boston Red Sox for us on our local radio stations. Thanks so much. Have a great afternoon.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
And again, that's Joe Castiglione. How appropriate that he would be with us via a voice recording instead of on video. Thanks so much. I'm glad Joe stuck with us and kept in. Joe Castiglione, he's a legend. He is a kind man. And man, it was so much fun when the kids were younger to put them to bed with the Boston Red Sox games on and just have him talk them through the plays as they fell asleep. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. And can you believe it? The Boston Red Sox, well, this COVID 19, it's all up in the air. We'll talk to you soon.